I've already loosened up the 2 screws on the front panel just to open it up. Let me show you how to get this done. After opening up the front panel of the ice machine, you should find it possibly in this kind of condition where your touchscreen says full bin. But if you just kind of move that back and forth, close it, that'll turn to making ice. But we're gonna go ahead and hit the power button, and then we're gonna hit the clean button, and that's gonna start purging the water. In about 45 seconds, it's going to change, and at that point in time, we're gonna add our chemicals right into here. Make it easier, we're gonna take off the top panel, and we're also going to take off this little rubber piece. That way we can pour it right down into the top. We are using just about 5 ounces of Manitowoc ice machine descaler. That's now saying water fill. You can go ahead and add your chemicals at this point. What's gonna happen is it's gonna fill up with water. It's going to circulate your cleaner and the water for about 15 minutes, and then do a series of flushes, refills, and flushes just to kind of rinse out all of the descaler. There are some cleaning instructions here that if you follow step by step might not work perfectly, but it's a good reference to tell you how many chemicals you should be using, and sanitizer, and there's some other good information on here, but we're gonna cover everything in this video. Now it says washing, and it gives you kind of a countdown, 28 minutes to go. You're going to remove all the ice from this bin and get rid of it. I'm gonna use this bucket right here to just kind of put the ice in there, roll it outside, dump it in the bushes. That way we can clean everything from the top, wash it down into the bin, and clean out the storage bin. Sometimes you even find goodies in your storage bin. I don't know if I should crack one open and take a drink. That Red Bull's looking pretty good. Storage bin all emptied out. We have about 12 minutes left to go. We are going to clean the condenser. Back here, we're going to change out that water filter that unfortunately is buried all the way back there. Whoever installed this, it's probably me, honestly, but I'm gonna change out that water filter down there, and I'm going to check on my condensate pump, which is just my storage bin drain pump that gets it to go into that black tube there. Cleaning the condenser is pretty easy. Just use yourself a soft bristle brush, go with the fins, get all the dust off, and we're gonna get some air and blow on it. If you have access to compressed nitrogen, that's what I'm using. If not, you can use some compressed air, and you just wanna get all that dust out of there so the machine can breathe. When the clean cycle is over, this will go to the off state. If you were satisfied that the machine is clean enough, you can just turn it back on and let it make ice. But the right way to do it is to disassemble the entire machine, and I'm gonna show you how to do that. You're going to have to flex this a little bit to get it out of its little hole. It's just a little stud that goes into that hole. Remove that. We're gonna take everything apart so that we can scrub this out, make it look nice and pretty. Ice thickness probe comes out by just pressing one side, letting that hang. And then these are more than finger tight, so I don't have to get a wrench, loosen up these two. And then this water distribution tube will come out. The water trough comes out. You can use 2 hands and do it at the same time, or you can kind of do it this way and hopefully it doesn't fall. But just loosen them and then press down. That'll come right out of there. Like I said before, we're going to scrub all this away. This part here is called a water diverter. You're going to use a 3/8 nut driver, loosen that up, and that'll come down and out of place. And as you can see, it's pretty dirty. That's why we remove it. Also so that we can clean back up inside those holes. The water level probe comes out just by pulling it down and unplugging it, and that should come out nice and easy. The water pump, the same way, down, and there's a plug right there. I still have to take out my water distribution tube, but we're gonna move over to this side. You wanna check your dump valve every time you do a maintenance or service it. So you're just gonna take that off, make sure that's not covered in lime scale, make sure there's nothing down inside that hole. You're also gonna take off this tube here, and you don't really have to take it off all the way. If you can just run a brush all the way through this line, make sure it's clean and clear, that would be good enough. Just like that, nice and clean. This sits right back on top of there, same way you took it off, and then just a less than a quarter turn, it locks it into place. After these two screws are removed, you can go ahead and just kind of pull on that. That'll come out. And then this one sometimes is a pain. You may have to just work at it a bit, but that'll come out just like that. And then we will be cleaning this spillway as well as shoving a brush up this, and then you'll be able to see it up there. Now that we're at this point, what we're gonna do is we're going to scrub, use the brush and the wire brush, and just start getting after some of these real nasty pieces, roughing it up, kind of just taking the brush and breaking up all the hard, nasty buildup, and then using this pump sprayer that just has water in it, nothing else. And we're just gonna rinse everything down, clean the storage bin, rinse everything down the drain, and then we're gonna spray some ice machine sanitizer over all the surfaces when we're done. Everything has been scrubbed and rinsed multiple times, satisfied that everything is clean and been washed down the drain. What I have in this spray bottle right here is a mixture of Manitowoc ice machine sanitizer and water. I'm gonna just go ahead and spray all my surfaces, including the underside of the ice machine, this ice deflector here, all the walls, inside of the storage door, inside of the ice machine front panel, all down underneath here, and pretty much just make sure you get everything nice and covered. In reverse order, we get to clean this pile one at a time in the sink, being careful not to get the plugs wet, not to get the motor wet, and not to get water possibly down inside there. It's sealed, but you should just be careful. Only get it wet from about halfway down. Make sure these prongs get scrubbed a little bit. But as we clean them, we're going to throw them back into the ice machine. All my parts are now clean. I've sprayed them all with sanitizer. Now we're gonna go ahead and put them back in here in reverse order of how we took them out. Before you put the water curtain on, you're gonna wanna use a gapping tool if you've got it, and just verify that your ice thickness probe is gapped correctly. We're going to throw it into clean mode again, add some sanitizer to the top, just like we did the descaler, and let it run through an entire clean cycle. Almost 2 ounces of Manitowoc ice machine sanitizer, straight over the top, just like before. Clean cycle is over. Now we're gonna hit the button, power button, make sure this thing makes a batch of ice. We got ice, baby. That's the complete process for a Manitowoc ice machine cleaning. That's pretty much the 6-month service. All of the chemicals and different brushes and whatnot that I used are linked in the description of the video. There's also a link to Patreon if you want to sign up, show your support. I'm not posting very much stuff over there, but I plan to. I also want to use that as a way to do kind of like a one-on-one. If you want to know more about ice machines, if you have like a question, if you're tech in the field and you don't want to wait on the phone with tech support for an hour, I'd be willing to throw out my number. You can give me a call, we can FaceTime and see how that works out. It's a thought. I don't know if it's going to work, if it's a good idea or a bad idea, but go check out the link. consider signing up, and we'll see what happens.